Hey there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. I am so excited about this live today. I'm going to share with you today 8 ways to up level your game. 8 ways to up level your game. If you've been playing a small game or smaller than you know, what is available to you, you're going to love this live today. I'm going to shake your shoulders a little bit. I'm Mia Redrick, business and life consultant. I got started in my company over 20 years ago. I simply made a decision. See, everything starts with a decision. And I decided that I wanted to go to work as myself. I have a background as a corporate trainer. I worked for a Fortune 100 company, loved what I did as a trainer. And I had these amazing systems as a new mom. And I wanted to somehow merge what I could do professionally with a soft skill, and I didn't know how to do it. And I decided that I needed some support. So the very first stop, I went to a small business resource center in my town. And the director of that small business resource center told me that my idea, mom coaching, did not make any sense and that no one would ever pay me to do what I do today. Okay. And I always share the story with you because maybe you're sitting on a gold mine. Maybe that idea, that big vision and dream, and you've been sharing it with people who have not executed at the highest level, that can't see what you see. And maybe they have said to you, how are you going to do this? Or that isn't possible, or no one's going to buy it. And it doesn't mean that it's real. Fast forward. I had the opportunity to look for a coach that I wanted to work with. And I went to one live event that changed my life. I went to a live event. It was the first time I ever saw someone doing what I wanted to do. I wanted to make it my own, but it was called coaching, business coaching, life coaching. And I signed up for a course for 1 year or 18 months, whatever it was. And I had one huge problem. This is 20 years ago. It was $1,000 an hour for private consulting. So I want you to hear me on this, that I didn't have the money. And that was the biggest challenge that I needed to overcome. And I realized that me even having the thought that I didn't have the money was the reason why I had to find the money, because I didn't want to ever use money as an excuse. Fast forward, I've had the opportunity to grow an amazing consulting business. I've coached women literally all around the world by the thousands, literally. And I've supported them in understanding that what you know is very valuable, properly packaged. And I'll share that with you today. Is what I'm going to teach very simply today. 8 ways that you can up level your life. Maybe you've been playing too small and that you just need to hear this message. And it isn't a message just for everyone, because quite frankly, if you're comfortable where you are, this isn't going to work for you. But if you know there's more and you're trying to figure out what that more looks like, this is going to be for you. It is going to be soup for you, right? It's going to feed your soul for sure. As a result of growing a business that I love, I've built a business around my life, which is the only way to build a business. I don't work for the business. I don't live to work. I built a business that has allowed for one of the most important elements, time freedom. So I did not want a business that would put a cap on my income, and that also would put me not in control of my time. I wanted a business based on leverage. And I built exactly that business. And I can tell you that when my husband developed kidney disease 13 years ago and went on dialysis, it was a scary time for us. And but I could show up for my family in ways that I never imagined because I built my business the right way. And it's the reason that I take a stand for each and every one of you here. When you make excuses, when you sell low ticket, when you don't stand in your value, when you're not offering all of who you are, when you're not being the giant that you can be, it's the reason why I'm not hearing it. Okay. And if there's one person that comes to my live and as a result of that, that change happens for you, then that's why I'm here. That's why I come here. I could stand in the gap for my family at the time that we were most vulnerable. I've been able to, be there. Hey, Alexandria, I've been able to be there in ways unimaginable. And I know a lot of times people come on live and they talk all about money and cars and homes and vacations and all of that. All of that stuff is great. But when you're dealing with a life or death crisis, you realize the importance of freedom and time. And building your business properly, the way that I teach my clients will give you exactly that. I think one of the greatest benefits of also running a business, if you're a mom, is that maybe you want to give your kids a world class education. And I know my husband and I were all up for that. Hey, Sandra. And we've invested over $1 million in elementary, middle, and high school for our children. Because if you build your business the right way, you can choose whatever you want for your kids. Of course, I could travel the world, take my husband in the middle of the day, and have the freedom that I desire, work from anywhere I decide. Those are all bonuses of learning how to build the business right. Now, today, if you're ready, I always say, if you're ready for a powerful life, you have to say, I'm ready. And then I'll get started. I'm going to teach very simply today 8 ways to up level your life. Okay. So who's ready? Simply write, I'm ready. Okay. And I am going to get started with the live today. Alexandra writes, let's see, I am a nurse, and I've seen firsthand what happens when life takes an unexpected turn. It's part of why I'm showing up for my family. You're going to love this live today because I'm going to break this all down. Rafaela, what a pretty name. I'm ready. Okay. Anybody else ready? Ma is ready, right? Ma is ready. Okay. Anyone else ready? You do have to be ready to receive a powerful message. And it's the reason why I ask you for every single life, you're ready or not. If you're watching the replay, I want you to indicate that you're ready as well, because you have to be ready to receive. All right. All right. So I'm going to jump in 8 ways that you can up level your life. And it's likely not what you're thinking. Let me just tell you, my lives are usually that way. Okay. The first thing that I know is true is that if you want to up level your life, the first thing that you must do is imagine the impossible and put a plan in place to accomplish it. So imagine the impossible, right? And then put your plan in place to accomplish it. When I think about the things that I've accomplished over the years, 20 years ago, I had a dream. I wanted to build a business where I could be free, work from the comfort of my home, show up and be available to my kids any way that I desired to, be a subject matter expert on national television. I wanted to equally do corporate deals with Fortune 100 and 500 companies. It was my dream. Okay. It hadn't happened yet. It was something I wanted to happen. And so the first thing I want you to do is to imagine what that is for you. Do it right now. Do it right now. Imagine, what is that for you? If you really played outside of the safe lines, if you really stepped into the next version of what life would look like for you, what would you do? Who would you work with? You know, what's the big tall thing that you would do that you're like, I was meant to do, finish the sentence. All right. I know for me, those are the questions that I love to answer for myself and then to set a plan to accomplish it. There's nothing too small for a dream. And quite frankly, a lot of times when we become adults, we stop dreaming. We stop thinking about what that next level looks like, what that big vision is. We start believing, or really rationalizing, how am I going to do this? I don't want you to do that right now. I just want you to say, like, if you could do what you want to do, and you can, what does that look like? If you could work with who you want to work with, who are they? What does that look like? If you could work when you wanted to work, where would you work? Would you work from home? Would you work at the beach? Well, what would that look like? If you could design your home around your life and create ease and grace in your work professional life, what does it look like? Would you build a garden? Would you give yourself a patio so that you could make life easy? You don't have to work inside the office. Maybe you just want to be able to go back and forth between the outside and the inside. If you could design the life that you desire, what would that look like? Would you be dating your husband in the middle of the day or only on Friday nights like everyone else? That's when all the restaurants are crowded, by the way. But maybe you just want to do it differently. One of the things I decided years ago is that I deserved to dream, to imagine the impossible. And I realized in operating in that space that there's no competition there. It's just me envisioning what the tallest life I can live looks like, what that version is, and stepping into that. I've done some pretty amazing things, over the years. Just one of them, I think that was something I just imagined. I always wanted to learn how to swim as an adult. I didn't know how to swim. 11 years ago, I decided that I would sign up to do my very first triathlon, and I started a triathlon team called the Iron Moms. Couldn't swim one leg, could not swim one lap, did not dunk my head in the water, any of these things. Okay, and I signed up for a triathlon. I didn't know how to swim when I signed up. I had 9 months to learn. Okay, and the women that signed up with me, most of them couldn't swim either. One of them could swim a little bit. 9 months later, I found myself completing a triathlon, swimming 0.62 miles in open water in a lake. Why? Because I imagined the impossible. And if I never allowed myself to play outside of those lines, I went on to do 3 other triathlons, right? Imagine the girl that couldn't swim did 3 triathlons. Come on. All right. And I share this story with you because I hope it inspires you that the only limitation that's happening is your limitations around your imagination. Start playing again. Think outside of the box. Understand that you don't have to know how right now, but you can still dream a bigger dream and imagine great things for yourself outside of what is not satisfying your appetite. Now, I'm always surprised by the number of people who live a life of quiet desperation. The life that they're living isn't the life that they desire. It's the life that they have settled for. Is that you? All right. If this is making sense, I want you to say this is making sense. Number two, we're talking about 8 ways to uplevel your life. Number 1 is imagine the impossible. Number 2. Now I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a radical life because you have to be a person that can envision what uplevel looks like for yourself. And not all of us are ready for it, quite frankly. Number 2, you need to choose a new level friend. The friend I suggest is like-minded and value centered, right, for where you're at. So I want you to look at your friendships and I want you to start thinking about what's missing from your friendship pool. Okay, hear me. Okay. What's missing from your friendship pool, your inner circle, your girls, your buddies, right? Like, sometimes we have longevity in relationships and they're great and it's wonderful. But we don't have girlfriends who imagine like we do, who think outside of the box, who encourage the giant that's inside of us. We don't have that. I know this to be true because I pair women all the time with their accountability partners, and they're so incredibly grateful. And typically, they have been looking for these women for years. We're talking today about what is it going to take to elevate to your next level. And what I'm telling you is that you have to proactively seek out like-minded individuals, okay? And women who have the same values that you have. So let me break this value piece down for you. A lot of times when we think about values, we only think about values in terms of spirituality. And that's not only what I'm talking about. That's one of the values. A value is maybe it's somebody that's accountable like you. Maybe it's someone that dreams big like you. Maybe it's someone that's an encourager like you. Maybe it's someone that's doing something that you want to do and you're like the best. You just want a girlfriend you could cheer for because you've always been the person at the top of the heap. You know what I'm talking about? You're at the front of the room. You're always the person that's leading the pack. And for once in your life, you'd like to have relationship with other women who are running the way that you're running. I know I'm talking directly to you. Okay. So if you're talking about the next up level, I want to challenge you to up level your relationships, to surround yourself with women who are like-minded. Okay. I call them go-givers, women who are all about your elevation. All right. Who care about their elevation. Right. When someone is engaged in achieving their best life, then they also can believe that you can achieve yours. The only women, okay, the only friendships where you have people who hold back is because the person you're in relationship with, they don't believe that they can live out their dreams and their goals. So if you pass them, let's say, if that's a thing, and they can't clap for you, it's because they don't have self-belief. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them. So what I'm telling you is that if you want to elevate your life and your world, you got to surround yourself with women who love to clap for others. And the reason they love to clap for others is because For one, they have achieved great and amazing things. They know what it takes, and they are looking equally to be in community with other women who value clapping back. I'm breaking this down. I'm just telling you. Okay, I'm just breaking this down. Number three, the third thing, if you're looking to elevate, is to quickly step away from people and opportunities that don't recognize and appreciate your gifts. This is a big one. Okay, now this might be in the workplace, this might be in the friendship space, this might be in any kind of relationship, some kind of community, some kind of organization that you're part of. I want you to think right now the spaces that you are a part of where you feel like they're thankless, they lack gratitude, and that you're spending your time, your talent, your energy, your skill, giving people every single thing you've got, and those individuals can't reciprocate, will not acknowledge, or pulling back, holding back, and you know you deserve more. Okay? We're talking about if you want to elevate your life, don't use your gifts with people who are not in a place that they can acknowledge them, that they don't see them, that they don't value them. Okay? I'm just telling you. All right? Now I'll tell you what I do. The moment that I recognize that I'm using my gifts, which I use my gifts for good to elevate humanity, that's what I do. And the moment that I recognize that I'm using my gifts, and if I'm working with individuals and I realize like that they don't value what they what I'm doing or what I'm giving them, then I just don't work with them because I don't use my gifts that way. All right. And I recognize that if I take my time and my talent and my gifts and I work with people who truly want to elevate, we can create magic and music together. A lot of us are spending our lives working for people in relationships, strategic relationships, long-term relationships, friendships, community organizations, on boards, doing things. And we know it's sucking the life out of us. We know we can't be as creative as we could possibly be. And we know that that period of time that we're devoting to that is taking out a space in our life when we could do something that's so much more creative. Time is an incredible gift. It's an asset. And when I want to tell you, if you want to elevate your life, you want to make room for that next big, amazing thing, then stop doing the things, stop hanging out with people, stop working with people who don't have the ability and the capacity to acknowledge your brilliance, your gifts, and your amazingness. And this is not from an ego perspective. This is you already know what you do is amazing, but sometimes people have capacity around what that looks like, and they cannot handle the truth. And sometimes when people can't handle the truth about you because you are smart, you are sharp, you are incredible, it's true. Okay. You do know the answer. Yeah. Okay. But if you're in an environment or you're working with people who can't handle that truth, then they want to make it small. They want to make it about you, but it is not about you. You have a responsibility to protect the gifts. Pick your jacks up and go play somewhere else. I'm just breaking this down. I'm talking about elevating. And it's what I do. It's the moment, the instant that I recognize that I'm using my gifts, which my gifts are here to serve humanity, to make the world a better place. I change the lives of women. I teach them how to understand the gifts that they have inside of them and how to use them more powerfully, how to charge and stand in their value, how to create tremendous impact with what they have. And if someone doesn't want that, they can't acknowledge it. It is not my job to convince them of such. All right, number four, breaking it down. Number four, the fourth thing is to honor your emotional and mental wellness. Ta-da! Okay. You got to honor, you got to listen to how you're feeling and where you're feeling it. Okay. Super important. Sometimes when we're high achievers, it's easy to go, 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 right? Keep do. And we do so much that we become numb to what we are really feeling. Sometimes we're numb to the fact that we're tired, we're exhausted, because when you're brilliant and amazing, you can do things on autopilot. So it's very easy not to know that enough's enough, that you need rest. Okay. So it's important. Get the support that you need if you need it, right? Support might look like, could be a mental health professional. Therapy is a good thing. It could be that the support looks like a personal trainer. The support could be a routine for exercise or getting outside. I know for me, for my own emotional wellness, what I do is I make myself go outside every day. I love it. I take my shoes off. I do this thing called earthing, where my shoes are off and I'm watering my plants and I'm connecting with the earth. It's my centering time. It is my meditative time. It's how I connect with myself, with earth, with something bigger than myself. All right. So just make sure you've got a way to stay connected to you and to check in with your own emotional and mental wellness. Know how you're feeling. Know what's fatiguing you. Know what you're tolerating. Decide that you've got a list of what you're going to prune in your life. Stop adding and start subtracting in huge ways. It's something I do. I talk about it in one of my books, Time for Mommy. I have a year. Every year I call a do last year. Every other year I have a do last year. And that means that I look at everything I'm attached to, who I'm attached to, what I've committed to, what I'm doing in my work, my life, whatever. And I decide what areas can I prune, because I find a lot of times we have attachments that we've stayed connected to and they don't add value to our life anymore. It might be a club, it might be a committee, it might be a board, right? It might be work, or the way we're working, the days we're working, the times we're working, how we're working. And I just change how I live in my life so that it feels good, that I'm building a life based on ease and grace. And it's not just based on words. So it's based on me understanding what kind of work adds to my emotional and mental wellness. How can that be a part of my life? If this is adding value to you, I want you to write, this is adding value. Number 5. Okay. Oh, this is good. Plan at least one day a week to play. Okay. Um, Plan at least one day a week to play. You know, um, a lot of times as we become adults, we play a lot less. And I want you to think about the last time that you actually played. You actually did something fun, something that you enjoyed. Okay. Now, for me, I like playing in the dirt. It's kind of become my thing because I like gardening and it really adds value to my life. It allows me to connect in different ways. But what is it that you like to do that allows you to play, allows you to connect with something that's fun, something that you enjoy, something that's not defined by anyone? It's just something that you like to do with you. What does that look like for me? If I'm in a nursery and I'm looking at a million plants and trying to figure out where am I going to put this plant, or what mulch is here, or where I'm going to put this fertilizer, or how I'm going to move this particular plant, whatever, those kind of things is fun for me, right? So it's like how I like to play. But what it does is it fuels me, right? Because life isn't just all work. We're talking about elevating. You're a whole person. And if you're just working all the time and you're not making time to get to know who you are on the inside, then likely it's the reason why you're not as fulfilled as you desire to be. I just wanted to break this down today because maybe you can't figure out, why you're laughing less, why things aren't fun, right? Why maybe, in your life, how you have all the things or all the trappings of success, but inside you feel like something is missing. Maybe it's because you don't know you anymore. And it's time for you to rediscover yourself, right? So important. Plays a big part of that. All right. Number 6, don't limit your income opportunities. So limit your income or opportunities. That's number 6. Don't limit your income or opportunities. So let me tell you what I mean by that. You know, I work with so many women, professional women, and most often they're trading time for dollars. 150 an hour, 250 an hour, $500 an hour. And by conventional standards, people would say you're making great money. But like in order for you to make more, you got to trade more time for dollars. So maybe it's time to, in your elevation, to think about how not to sell time anymore. Maybe part of your elevation is learning how to package your knowledge, how to license your intellect, how to support people in a completely different way through consulting or coaching, right? And if you don't know anything about it, just understand that that's a whole nother level that's available to you that will make your life a lot easier. The lights come on for my clients all the time when I'm able to show them how to step into a different version, a different model of what it can look like to monetize their brilliance. Same brilliance. They don't have to go back to school. It's just that they learned one way. And maybe that one way is the thing that's keeping you from elevating, right? I mean, if you think right now, if you're already working 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week, you don't, to make more money, you don't want to work 70 or 80 hours a week. So you're capped. Okay. Your opportunities are capped because you don't have the time. Maybe now it's time to renegotiate the way you earn. Okay. Because that's all about elevation. I work from the comfort of my home. I coach my clients primarily on Tuesdays. I have a couple of private consulting clients. But outside of that, my time is my own. And I chose to choose powerfully for myself, right? To leverage my knowledge, not to sell my time. You're bigger than that. And if you don't know how to change that, you need to reach out to us. We can definitely support you around understanding that it's bigger than the way you're operating. You can create more time. Number 7. Oh, this is good. Okay. Whew, let me just breathe. Never shrink what makes you shine. Yeah, we're talking about elevation, right? Never shrink what makes you shine. Got it? Never shrink. Okay. So, look, you are who you are. You're dynamic. You're incredible. You're amazing. And you're charismatic. You're smart. And the truth of the matter, those are facts. And sometimes when we are around people who are uncomfortable with us being that brilliant, incredible being that we were created to be, and not from a place of arrogance, it's just you're sure you've worked on yourself, you've invested in yourself, you know that's your truth. And yet sometimes when we're in environments, we feel we have to shrink to fit in. And we're talking today about how to elevate. If you don't want to kill your soul, right? Literally, how you feel about yourself, don't shrink your shine. I decided that for myself, I needed to uplevel the environments that I would step into, that I had to be in environments that were big enough to hold a place for the giant gifts that I had inside of me. And I suggest the same for you. And I said, if I have to walk through a door and act like I don't know the answer or play a smaller game, this is the wrong place for me to be. Okay. If I have to work with people and I have to pretend I don't know the answer or that my answer was theirs, I am in absolutely the wrong room, because that is no way for me to live. It's not the life that I designed. And I know I'm talking to a couple of you, and I know that you've seen it. But I want you to understand this: never shrink what makes you shine. Because inside, what happens is that it kills your spirit, kills your soul, takes a piece of you away. I'm telling you the truth. You guys are quiet today because I think it's resonating, and I know that what I'm saying is the truth. All right. You've gone to school forever. You've worked hard to be who you are. And while you make it look easy, it didn't come without sacrifice. You are great at what you do. And it's important to be able to own your bigness. And, it's something I'm into. I talk to my daughter about this all the time, all of my children. My daughter and I talk about this all the time. Owning your bigness, not playing small to make someone else uncomfortable, to feel comfortable. If someone has to be, you have to play a smaller game in order for someone else to be comfortable. That's the wrong friend. That's not the right environment for you. Play a bigger game where your gifts are valued, where people celebrate, the knowledge that you have, the gifts that you have, and you'll find that you'll sleep better at night. We're talking about how to elevate. And I can tell you for sure, I decided I wanted to build a life on my own terms. I didn't want someone to tell me what was too much or that I was extra. I was just being me. Okay, I'm not extra. This is like, I'm just warming up. And you're just warming up. All right, number 8. Oh, this is so good. And this is the last one tonight. Number 8 is learn to become comfortable with receiving. So when we're talking about elevation, I'll tell you what it looks like, because I see this a lot. I work with incredible women, many who are incredible givers. And when it comes to being able to receive from others, they're good with giving, right, to others. But receiving what they give is a challenge for them. Could it look like? Let me break it down. It looks like you could give someone a million compliments, But if somebody gives you a million compliments, it makes you feel uncomfortable, right? That someone says really kind things will reflect the truth back to you. Um, Learn to become comfortable receiving. Learn to become comfortable receiving. Because, see, it's give and it shall be given, right? Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. But, like, that's the receiving part, the running over part. And so, if the reason that you're giving your gifts and serving people and creating impact, if you're doing that and you're doing it so that you can literally change the lives of others, then the expectation is to expect the overflow, but you have to be able to receive it. Okay. And I often think that sometimes people are rewarded in direct proportion to their ability to receive. You know, I liken it to, I always say this, I may have said this to you guys before. If you think about if you were dating money, let's use money as an example. You were dating money, and think about going on a date. You're going on a date with money, right? And you know how, like, when you go on a date, and if the guy got your chair and you're like, oh, you got my chair? Oh my God, I can't believe you got my chair, right? Like, imagine if you date money and you had the same thought in your head, like, oh my God, I can't believe I have abundance. Oh my God, I can't believe somebody just paid me that. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this contract is so big. Like, imagine that. But imagine instead learning becoming comfortable receiving, having a mindset of expectation, that that's what it looks like to be brilliant, to be amazing, to be gifted, to be able to serve people at the highest level, to be able to create amazing results like you do. It looks like that on the other side of that, they would be receiving, that because you're changing the lives of others, your life would change. Learn to become comfortable with that. I see so many women who aren't. They feel so much shame and guilt around being successful, right? They feel in direct conflict around that. So they sabotage it, right? Just do things so that because they're not comfortable. And that's all mindset. I hope that this has supported you in some way. I told you that it was an unconventional live tonight. I wanted just to talk about, up leveling and what it can look like. And because you're my community and you come here all the time and you get my lives, right? Like a lot of you get my lives on my email list. If you're not on my email list at miaredrick.com, sign up. And I usually send you the replay and you watch these lives. And a lot of times it's about business. But tonight I wanted to talk specifically about up leveling and what we don't always talk about. Or sometimes we don't have people in our life, in our world to talk about this with. And I wanted to talk about it from a perspective like not a hype conversation. These are very real things. Number one, just to recap, imagining the impossible. When's the last time you've done it? Okay, when's the last time you thought about, man, this is what I really want? And really imagined, right, that for yourself. When is the last time? Number two, choosing new level friends who are like-minded and that have the values that you have. Because sometimes we have friendships that have come with us, but they're not necessarily our ambition level. And you might need a new peer circle. Okay. Number three, quickly stepping away from people and opportunities that don't recognize and appreciate your gifts. Let them go quickly. All right. Don't hesitate. Your gifts will make a way for you. And they won't if you spend your time sharing it with people who aren't for your good. You'll know they're not for your good because of how they use their tongue, what they say about you when you're not around. You'll know they're not for your good, how they clap for you, they can't clap, what they can say about you, what they can't say. All of these things. All right. We all know this. All right. Number four, honor your emotional and mental wellness. Okay. Do things to make yourself feel emotionally well. All right. Take care of her or the inside of you, right? See who you need to see. Work on your inner game, right? Your mental game, your emotional game. Number five, plan at least one day a week to play. You deserve it. Life can't be all work. Okay. It can't be. All right. That's not a great life. All right. Work. Like, you can't just work and watch your kids play. Be the example. Lead from the front. Number six, don't limit your income or opportunities. And, if you're not having that high vision, likely you are. Sure, you can do this. Absolutely. You could run an amazing multi-million-dollar consulting company. You can do this. Okay. Even if you don't know how right now, I can tell you this. 20 years ago, I had this thought. This is how I want to live. I want to build a business around my life. I did not know how. I had no customers. I had no product. Okay. But I aligned myself with what I needed. I did the work on myself to step into that vision. And that's why I want to talk about that today. Number 7, never shrink what makes you shine. Never, ever. Don't, look, that glow, that thing that makes you got to do you. And if you're in environments where they don't like the sparkle, that's the wrong place for you. Trust your inner guidance. Know there's somewhere higher for you. Put your gifts to higher and better use. Where you're meant to be is not going to ever dim your light. All right. And if you're deciding and you've settled that you only have this is an opportunity or that's an opportunity, or if you leave this, you can't do that. Those are all limiting beliefs, and none of that's real. Make a decision to choose powerfully for yourself. Where I'm meant to be feels good. And where you're meant to be, it feels amazing. All right. And number 8, learn to become comfortable receiving. Learn to become comfortable receiving. Sure, you love to give, right? But given it shall be given. If you give it, it shall be given, right? If you give, listen, it shall be given. That's receiving, correct? Learn to be comfortable with that. And I mean, so many people who are very comfortable with the giving, but they're not comfortable with the receiving. It's the reason why the prices are too low, or they lock themselves into opportunities that cap their income or their time, because they have some conflict around abundance, personal abundance for themselves. Okay. You're bigger than that. Okay. You're bigger than that. I would, as always, like to hear your ahas or your takeaways. Your ahas or your takeaways. Post them here. This is my live for today, and this is just from my heart. And I thought about this today. I just wrapped up the October Giant Experience Master Training, and it was amazing. Okay, and I watched women really step outside of themselves into a higher vision of themselves in a day and a half. That's what it is. And it was because of proximity, being in the space, Elizabeth, with other women just like them. It's very important. It doesn't take a long time to create change. You know, it doesn't. Okay. So I would like to hear your ahas or takeaways. What was one thing that you got tonight that was great? You're welcome, Elizabeth. Michelle says, Lord, help me tonight. Okay. And Michelle also wrote, that's me. I am not comfortable receiving. So yeah, so I'm learning to become comfortable receiving, because we get exactly what we say. Vavika writes, yes, yes. Okay. Awesome. And what are any ahas or takeaways? Sandra says, you are talking to me. I'm glad that resonated with you. What was your biggest aha takeaway? What's the one thing that you heard and you're like, I'm going to take this, I can use this? Post it here. And it's so important, right? Like, to have this conversation. Sometimes it's not just about making money, it's about building a life by design. And you can absolutely do that. And I think having these conversations are so important. As always, if I can support you in some way, you can always inbox us here on Facebook, or go to miaredrick.com, which is my website. You can leave us a message there. We have a chat box at the bottom of the screen. You can always leave me a message. And we'll see it, right? We'll see it. If you're looking to package your knowledge, check out the Giant Experience. You'll see it in the description box here. One aha takeaway, anyone? Right? Elizabeth writes, your aha takeaway was don't shrink your shine. I am going to put it on a t-shirt. Yes, don't shrink it. Like, any room that you're in that can't handle your light is the wrong room. You know what I'm saying? Like, sparkle wherever you go. Don't shrink your shine. And so Kenyatta says, changing friends that are my level of ambition. Isn't that interesting? It's so important to understand that when I'm looking to match my friends, I want to match people who are my own ambition level. I want to match people. I actually had a friend who I really liked, actually. It was just such a great friend, ambition wise, in terms of business. but was just so cutthroat and had no values that I learned over time around stealing. Okay, stealing. Okay, and I just didn't like it because I'm just, so it doesn't matter that you're my ambition level in terms of like we like the same things. You take things from people that don't belong to you, and I just said we are not a fit. I just don't do that. I'm not into that. Change your friends. Change your friends. It's very important. Takeaway. Sandra says the takeaway for me is work and no play. Right, right. Like this life is meant for you to enjoy, and play has to be an important part of that. So, so, so important. It's the thing that allows us to experience joy to the utmost. If I asked you right now, what are your hobbies? What do you love? What would you say? And if you say nothing, why is that? And why would you allow that to be the life that you're living? We're talking about up-leveling your life. You deserve more, right? Any other ahas or takeaways from tonight? I want to thank you as always for being here. You could have been anywhere, but you decided to be right here. And I appreciate that. And if you're on my list at miaredrick.com, we'll send you the replay probably this evening or tomorrow morning. So look for that. It's been a pleasure to be here with you as always. I'll be here next Monday. I normally come live 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My daughter's in town. She leaves tomorrow. And so we all went out to dinner tonight. And so got back a little bit later. So I started later tonight. But I'll be here next Monday. And maybe over the weekend, I may be able to do another live. But it's a pleasure to serve you as always. I look forward to speaking with you next week. Okay. I appreciate you. Sandra writes, thank you so much. It was an eye opener. I appreciate you. Thank you. Bye.